Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. My name is Camilo Alejo. I'm going to present part of my research in Pontificia Universidad Javeriana in Bogota. I just finished a master's in conservation and biodiversity use up there. And it's titled Challenges of Bridging Knowledge in the Amazon, the case of Astrocaryum chambira. Didn't work. Okay. Good. So let me start showing you my dining room. And especially, I would like you to pay attention to that table in the middle with coffee and good books, but also to those table mats and that tray, excuse me. And well, they are made of this beautiful palm tree known as Astrocarium chambira or just chambira. And this palm tree is used by indigenous people from the Amazon. They basically cut the spear leaves, and men and women, and well, women make handicrafts, and it's a source of income from the forest, a non-timber forest product. And well, it's been shown that the use can be ecologically sustainable and also conservation with social and ecological outcomes. But this is also a challenge for two knowledge systems, or let's say for scientific knowledge and traditional knowledge. And what do I mean with two knowledge systems? Well, basically, two groups of agents with particular practices and institutions that organize knowledge use and its production in different ways. Uh, so it means that these two knowledge systems here are not just two sets of contents, but they are two epistemologies, two ways of knowing the world. And as you can see in those pictures, well, we know scientific knowledge is used to be systematized, is used to be compartmentalized, and that's the way we deal with nature, and that's the way we think about ecosystems. In the case of traditional knowledge, it works on a different way because traditional knowledge approaches nature in a holistic approach through a world view. Well, but so what do we do? I mean, they are different. So how do we deal with these possible tensions among them? Well, an answer could be bridging knowledge systems, which basically means to create mutual learning, to create deliberation, to think about the complementarities and possible contradictions that can occur among them. And on that way, we can think about an enriched picture of local perspectives, of management practices, and institutions. But also, bridging knowledge is about networking. It's about finding key actors or organizations that are able to connect these two separate, probably, groups of agents. So they could be locals able to breach with these two epistemologies, but also maybe it could be an unknown organization that can bridge these knowledge systems. So a scenario in which these challenges of bridging knowledge converge is located in the Ticuna community of San Martin de Macayacu in the Colombian Amazon. There, people used this palm tree, which has been shown in the area to have growing populations and high densities, and also is located in an overlapped area with Amacayacu National Park. So it creates this co-governance process, and we can think about it like bridging knowledge laboratory. So in that sense, we decided to explore the challenges and opportunities of bridging knowledge and scientific knowledge, but with a particular emphasis in management perspectives, institutions, and bridging actors. So how did we do it? Well, first, we made an agreement. And during the second phase, we did household interviews. We also did participatory social network workshops. And with that information, we obtained cooperation and knowledge exchange ties. And with that, we performed social network analysis through using it at different levels to see how people relate in these terms around this species. And during the third phase, we explored the knowledge regarding this species. Specifically, we called key actors from this social network, and we made focus groups with men, women, and elders. And with them, we discussed management practices and institutions, both from the scientific and the traditional knowledge side. So this is part of what we did. And we compared that information with the literature. Okay, so what did we find? Well, from an institutional point of view, what you see there is a social network. It shows the different knowledge systems involved. As you can see, it's not only about local traditional knowledge and scientific knowledge, but we try to see if this network had a group pattern in terms of knowledge systems. And we actually found that the local knowledge system is very cohesive. It means that people are exchanging knowledge actively. They are cooperating around this species. And during focus groups, on the other side, we confirmed this information. And specifically, we found that regardless of age or gender, uh, people define the access to this kind of resource, the management of this kind of resource, collectively. So this is a great deal because that's part of having sustainable social ecological systems, but also it's a great opportunity for us, for scientists, for practitioners, to have an arena to deliberate with locals. In terms of management, we found that age was a great deal. When we tried to see if there was a grouping pattern in terms of age, we explored to see if there was a separation in this network, especially in local people, between the people that were born before the foundation of this community and the active influence of the Catholic Church and the government, and the people that were born after that event. And we found, let's say, some separation, not so big. But during focus groups, when we talked about which management strategies do you know for this species, well, actually, young men and young women mentioned different. They mentioned many, like the use of pollen extraction devices previously brought by scientists. But elders said something different. They said that no one is supposed to tell them what to do. It's their land. So what is the explanation of that? Well, basically, young adults have been exposed to the government for a longer time. They have been exposed to to schooling and market economy, while elders have a different story regarding that. We also asked them, tell us about the spear leaf regeneration times. Tell us about the extraction and how long do you need to wait after you cut this palm. So how long do you need to wait? What needs to happen? So basically, men said that if you cut it, you don't need to wait for any regeneration time. Young women said that you can wait for one spear leaf to fully grow, and then the other one you can extract it. But elders said that at least we need to wait for two new spear leaves fully regenerated to use the same palm individual again. And this is where we find a paradox, because that's actually what the scientific literature says. Based on other studies, that's at least the regeneration time expected for a sustainable use. So as you can see, elders are more strict than youngers. So what is the explanation of that? I can give you two explanations. One of it is that elders they have a lower dependence on forest resources because they have already established families, basically. And another good explanation about it from studies in the area is that, well, they have been learning and discussing management strategies for a longer time. So even if they maybe are a bit skeptical of scientists, they are still great allies for bridging knowledge and conservation. Finally, I would like to speak about gender. Okay. This is the same social network, and we try to see if there was a separation in terms of gender. And actually, there is a separation. As you can see, the brown guys are men, and basically, what happens with men is that men rely with men ties. But in this circled area, the purple guys are mostly all women from the community. As you can see, they are all in that exclusive area, but compared with men, women rely on a diverse set of ties. So let me show you the first version of this social network. So as you can see, that same circled area is the one that has many knowledge systems from different places, from different kinds interacting. So we performed something in social network analysis called brokerage tests to see who are the better, let's say, actors that can connect the outside with the inside or are in good positions to communicate information. And we found that actually were women, as it is obvious. So this is an example of a local artisan. It's an ego network, so it shows only her ties. And as you can see, well, she's connecting different knowledge systems, including scientific, different organizations, NGOs, national parks, etc., with locals. So that is a great deal. So what does it mean? What does it mean having women in those positions? Well, first, my interpretation is that this society, this Tikuna patriarchal society, is transforming. Women are becoming more active. They are empowering in this context. And that's quite important because, based on some evidence, we know that women participation is crucial in conservation efforts. And these are the brokers, these are the actors in local communities that we need to find and we need to discuss with to create these bridges between scientists and practitioners. So, three conclusions. Time is up. First, as you can see, local traditional knowledge is not something homogeneous, it's something complex, it's something dynamic. So, we cannot think about just a community as something homogeneous. So we need to think about how do we deal with this complexity. Second conclusion would be that in this context, we need to think about how are we going to involve all these kind of different actors, all these kind of different perspectives. And finally, related with that, well, as I showed you, we found a broker, we found someone in very important positions for bridging knowledge, but it's crucial also for conservation to promote human capital, to promote leadership, to promote deliberation capabilities for these locals that can contribute a lot in involving traditional people and scientists. Thank you.
Thank you, Camilo. Fortunately, we do not have any time for questions, but I'm sure afterwards he'd be happy to take questions. So our next speaker is William Sutherland from the University of Cambridge.